Somebody woke up this morning with the resources that you would love to have. What if you could access those resources way easier than you ever thought possible? If you're an entrepreneur, one of the most exciting things that can be a total game changer for your business is your first big partnership deal. If you get a small business partnering with a famous celebrity, that business is going to explode. If you get a small business that does a partnership with someone who's got a big email database, that could be explosive. A small business could do a partnership with someone who's got an exclusive product that is a hot product, and they could package that into their offering, and that could be absolutely game changing. So today I want to talk about how to structure your first big partnerships. Now, the thing that may surprise you is that great partnership structures are not between two parties, they're between four parties. Okay, so let's have a look at this little diagram here. Here's you in the middle. You're the key person of influence. Only a key person of influence can drive partnerships. Partnerships do not happen with people who are not the key people of influence. It's not something you can delegate to your team. It's not something that you can outsource to an agency. A key person of influence has to be the person who drives the partnership. So that's party number one. That's you. Now, we've got three other people that we want to structure a partnership with. Person number one represents a big brand, right? A brand that is much bigger than you. So this could be a personal brand, or it could be an institution brand, a big brand that other people have heard about, or at least it's a lot bigger than your brand. So this is the first partnership we want to structure. The second one is product. So this is a product that is not your product. It's something else that enhances what you do, right? So this is the product that is going to bolt in and improve your product. I'll give you some examples in a minute. And the third one is called distribution. So this is a business that has access to markets that you don't have. This could be a big email list, it could be a big social media account, it could be a big YouTube subscriber list, or in a more traditional context, it could be a chain of retail stores. It could be someone who's got the ability to put something on a shelf far and wide. So this is distribution, this is product, this is brand. So let's go through a few little examples. I'm going to start with some big examples that everyone has heard of, and then we'll go with some small examples that you can apply to your own business. So here's an example you might have heard of. Nespresso. Do you remember the first time you heard Nespresso? I bet you remember the George Clooney campaign. The George Clooney campaign was George Clooney sitting there having a sip of Nespresso, and that felt like the launch of the brand. But I don't know if you know this, that brand was a really old brand that was owned by Nestle. And Nestle used to sell coffee into offices. It was a very boring brand. And then a new CEO came along, and this new CEO said, we're going to make this a consumer brand. We're going to launch this in a big way so that it's going to be a retail brand. It's going to be a consumer brand. People are going to have these in their homes. So we're going to relaunch this business that has been around for many, many decades, but we're going to do it in a very new way. The first thing the CEO did is he went out and found some people who had really big brands, bigger than the brand Nespresso, and he wanted people who represented elegance and sophistication and charm and sexiness and sex appeal, and he made a short list of people who he thought would be a really good fit for the brand. And the top of the list was George Clooney. So we had George Clooney, right, who represented all the values that they wanted to get across with the brand. So they were able to do the first deal, which was to get George Clooney to agree to be the face of the brand in Europe. Then Nespresso said, we're not good at building nice little coffee machines. We're good at doing the big office ones, but we know of this company called Magimix, and they do really nice appliances. So they did a partnership with Magimix to improve the product and to actually create a product that would be the Nespresso home unit. And then they said, oh, we want to have some distribution points. Who has got a really good retail chain? And they said, let's do a deal with Selfridges in London. Selfridges at the time was the biggest retailer on Oxford Street in London, so they did a deal with Selfridges to exclusively launch the product at Selfridges. So they had George Clooney being the face of the brand, they had Magimix being the product, and Selfridges being the distribution. And Nespresso sat in the middle as this party, coordinating these other three partnerships around them. And that's how Nespresso relaunched themselves for the consumer end of the market. So let me tell you about my first partnership that I put together. I was an 18-year-old running nightclub parties, and what I did is I put together partnerships. I didn't have any resources of my own, so I went out and did partnerships. So let me tell you about some of the partnerships I did. So the first partnership I did was for the product itself. The nightclub needs a venue. That's a big part of the product. So I did a partnership with something called the Reef Hotel in Australia. And we had the Reef nightclub. So the Reef nightclub became the product. And what we did is we did a partnership where they would get a percentage of all the door take, and we would cover certain costs and they would cover certain costs, and we'd split the revenues in a certain way. So my first partnership was the venue itself. The next partnership I did was with the distribution channel called Heat FM. So that was the big radio station. They did a deal where they would give us $8,000 worth of radio advertising if the party could be called the Heat FM Underage Dance Party. So we actually did a deal with Heat FM to do school holiday dance party with their name on it. Reef Hotel then gave us a really great rate on the venue because they got $8,000 worth of free marketing. And then we went out and we got Surf Skate Australia, which was a big brand, skateboarding and surf brand. We got the DJ, who was a big name DJ at the time, to be on the flyer. And we also got lots of prizes from, if you remember it, HMV CD shops, right? So we actually had all these prizes from HMV. So these were the big brands. So when we put this together, we said Surf Skate Australia, HMV, this big name DJ, they're all gonna be there. It's gonna be at the Reef Hotel. It's the Heat FM dance party, and Heat FM did all the marketing. So they did $8,000 worth of radio advertising. Everyone turned up because they were super excited about these people being there and these prizes being there. And everyone turned up because it was a great product. It was a great nightclub. And I just sat in the middle and coordinated those 3 partnerships and ended up making over $10,000 in a night when I was 18 or 19 years old, right? So that was my first big partnership deal. The whole thing took a few weeks to put together, and then it all happened on the night, and it was a lot of fun and very lucrative for an 18-year-old, and it was all based on 3 major partnerships. Okay, so let's come up with a theoretical example. Let's say you own an agency. It's a marketing agency, and you help people with their marketing, right? Their content marketing, let's say, and we want to do some partnerships. Okay, so what if we did an annual conference and we had a big name author and speaker who was going to be the author and speaker at the annual conference, and they're going to talk about the next level and the future trends and all of that sort of stuff. And it's the agency that's organizing it, and then the author and speaker is speaking at the annual conference. And what if we also say that everyone who signs up with the agency and everyone who gets tickets, they get access to some really great software that is tracking or doing something or creating some new leads, right? So there's a software component here that enhances what the agency does. And we can say that the annual conference is also going to be supported by an accounting firm who works with small businesses in the area, maybe a small business law firm, right? And they're going to promote it. So for them to be partners, they have to bring their clients to the annual conference, and they get to be part of the named sponsors on the door and on all the materials. So now we have a big name author and speaker. We've got some software that everyone gets access to, and we've got some accountants and lawyers who are promoting and bringing their clients. So that might be how you go out and put together those partnerships. Now remember, one of these represents an enhancement to the brand, bigger brand. This one is more product, and this one is bigger distribution, right? So we're gonna go and get more brand, more product, bigger distribution, and that's gonna be our new partnership. Okay, so what we've talked about is doing a big partnership, and I really wanna challenge you and inspire you to stop working in the business all the time and start thinking about how you could work on the business, such as doing a big partnership like what we've talked about today. A lot of entrepreneurs who get stuck, they just get in on that treadmill and they run on the treadmill every day. And the entrepreneurs who get breakthroughs take some time out, they slow down to speed up, and they start thinking about who could I partner with in order to totally transform the game. And it's those partnerships that set you free from being stuck in the business. It's those partnerships that take you up to that next level of new levels of profit, new levels of revenue, new levels of success. So take some time out before you skip on to the next video. Just pull out a pen and paper and start brainstorming. Who are some of the people in your industry you could be partnering with to get that kind of a breakthrough? If you've enjoyed that video, please give it a like and a subscribe, and leave me a comment below, and we'll let you know when we've got another video out soon.